All right, finally we are live. So that was taking a moment to come on. I apologize for the delay. Not sure what's going on with the internet today, but hello everyone, and thank you for being here and showing up today. I am so happy that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about the feminine codes. What are they? Um, Deep diving into activating the feminine codes, what it really means, how we connect with them. I'm going to take you through a little practice. I'm going to share a lot with you today. So, today in the feminine codes, we're starting a new series. And so, the series, I don't know really how long it's going to go on. It's probably going to be a set of 12 different videos that I'm going to do for this series of remembering and awakening the feminine codes within our body as a woman. So, before we get started, I am going to light a candle and call ourselves present. I couldn't find the matches. I really love matches, but this is what we have today. And I am lighting the ritual abundance candle. So, some of you might have this candle. It's really calling in abundance in all its forms and the ways it shows up in our lives. And so just setting that intention as we dive into this work, this feminine, the work of the feminine mysteries, the feminine arts. And so I'm just going to set the candle off to the side. And then today I brought in some oil. And this is spikenard. Spikenard is a very ancient, sacred oil. And so if you have spikenard, and I use doTERRA, um, and so if you want the spikenard of doTERRA, let me know. I can set you up with that. But I really like this one. It's so potent. And so just a little drop is enough. And I just invite you to rub it in your palms, smell it, really allow the scent to travel down into your lungs, really filling up your body, filling up your head, your heart, your lungs. Really allow the scent of spikenard to take you into memory, into the ancient memories of our ancestors as well. And so while you're there, I'm just going to invite you to breathe and just settle into your body. Settle into your seat, settle into your womb, to your heart. Just feel your breath connecting down, all the way down. How low can you bring your awareness? How deep can you bring your awareness into your body? Can you bring your breath all the way down into your sit bones, down into where your bottom, your sit bones, your sacred tailbone is meeting the chair or the floor beneath you? Just be very present with your breath. Really just calling yourself present into this space, into this time. So, welcome everyone. Really stay connected through this teaching, through this transmission to your heart and your womb. Really stay connected to your body, because this isn't just a talk, this is really a transmission that came from a channeled message that I received, where I thought that I was just writing a social media post, and it ended up being this really long channeled message that has become a very important part to my work and to the feminine codes. So I do have some notes, and with that, I've pulled up the outline for what I want to talk about today. And I want to share something about this because I've had a really, really busy week. A lot of things that I had promised that I would have complete by the end of this week that I've been working on. And I knew that I had this talk coming up, that I wanted to start this series. And so I didn't have space to really sit down and give a lot of energy to this until last night. And then I had some hours today to be able to do it. And so when I sat down, I started writing what I wanted to say. And I write a lot better than I am able to speak it, because I tend to go from one thing to another and just kind of like circle around. And so I just let myself write, and I was writing all of this information for today's transmission, and all of a sudden I got the message to stop. Spirit was speaking to me and telling me that this was not the way to do it. That I needed to put, actually, I was writing it on the computer, and I deleted everything that I was writing. And so today is truly, truly going to be a channeled message. And so this makes me a little bit nervous. So I'm going to use my outline to make me, not make me, but give me a guideline so that I'm not bouncing around and not confusing everyone with all the directions that I can go in with this topic. So I want to stay with a very clear message throughout the series. And to do that, I'm going to have outlines, and maybe eventually, occasionally, I will have some little written notes. Later on in this message, I want to share with you the channeled message, the actual channeled message that I received, because I feel like it's really important. And everything that I am going over in this series is going to be in my book. So it's kind of why I'm sharing it. Later on in this transmission, I'm going to share with you more ways, if you really feel called to deepen into this work, that you can. And I'm going to end with some journaling prompts, like some to get you really deeper into your body, into this work. And then I'm going to leave you with a blessing and prayer that you can move forward, really activated within your feminine power, your womb, your voice, your heart. And so if you can stay with me till the end, wonderful. If you have oil, go ahead and grab that. And like I said, this is a teaching, but it's also a transmission. So this might be something you have to come back to. This might be something I have to come back to, because I am going, without notes. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's dive into today's work. So this is the Feminine Codes, a sacred remembering. And so what are the feminine codes exactly? They're ancient wisdom. It's a reactivation of what we were born to remember as women. We were born to have these codes activated, and now is the time to do it. We are being asked to remember and to truly live activated as women right now on at this time of humanity. We are needed. These codes are really needed in our collective more than possibly they have ever in this cycle of humanity. And so they are very ancient codes, ancient wisdom that has been embedded into our DNA. It's been embedded into our wombs, to be remembered, to be activated. And it takes a look at ourselves, at our lives, to really know why these codes are needed to be activated in our lives. So I am a little bit scattered. I'm going to bring that back. There are certain codes that we as women will naturally have. Some of us have certain codes activated within us whenever we're born, more so than others will. They will have other ones. We all have codes that are specifically unique to us when we're born into this world. We also have codes that are needing to be remembered, that are needing to be reawakened, reactivated, and reintegrated into our lives as women. And this is not just for us. This is for us. This is for us remembering our power as a woman, really standing in our truth, really being in our authenticity as a woman. But it's not just for us. When we remember, when we reactivate these feminine codes, it shifts the world around us. It shifts the future generation. It also helps heal the generations that came before us. And that is not only our maternal line, and we talk about our mother line, right? The red thread, but this is also the maternal line on our father's side as well. So if we think about, and one of my teachers said, put it into perspective when she told me this. You have your mother, then you have your grandmothers, and you have two grandmothers, and then you have your great grandmothers, and you have four great grandmothers, and then you have your great great grandmothers, and you have eight. And so we're looking at both of the maternal lines from our mother and our father's side, and then going back from there. So really, when we heal ourselves, when we reawaken, when we heal, when we reawaken these codes, it is activating a deep remembrance and creating a healing for the collective, the whole, because we really are so much bigger than what we realize. And this is also connecting with the future generations. This is also doing the work for the future generations. And so when we can really remember why we're here and who we are, and reactivate these sacred codes that we were born to remember, that women are inherent, like it's inherent for us to have and to live in our life, the planet will shift, humanity will change. And so I'm really not just doing the work for women, although this is my focus. My deeper underlying focus is for the children, for the next generation, for this planet as a whole, for the collective. And so that's really why I'm doing the series, because if I don't do it, then I'm not doing what I feel is my dharma, is my mission in this life. I'm not doing the work that is so sacred to me and helping humanity, helping the planet. And so I'm getting a little bit emotional. I think I'm getting close to my cycle, because that makes me a little bit emotional today. So these feminine codes, like I said, they're very ancient codes that have been lying dormant in the wombs and in the DNA of women on Earth. And there are many, many codes, and I will name a few of them And you can see if any of these codes have been ones that you have already had activated in your life, or you're feeling like they need, like the desire or this deep, deep ache in your body, this feeling that something's missing by one of these codes not being activated. You will feel this pull, you will feel this call, this deep desire to have and be a part of these sacred codes. And so if you feel that, then these are ones that are really meant for you to possibly work through and reactivate in this lifetime. One of those being sacred union. Sacred union is a code that is deeply important to humanity, because I'm going to open up all my notes in my book. I have notes everywhere. It's important to humanity because if we look at the creator, right? The creator we know as being masculine, the divine father aspect of the creator. But in the very beginning of creation, in the beginning of humanity, going all the way back, there was also a divine mother aspect of the creator. And there were a lot of peoples, tribes, communities that honored the divine mother. And I could probably say that there were also those that forgot the divine father aspect of creator as well. And so those two, the divine father, the divine mother, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, are meant to be together. If we think about how children are born into this world, it is through a mother and a father. Any other way that a child is born into this earth is not of the creator. And that's not saying IVF or anything like that, because that's still using a man and a woman. But we really need to look at this code, this sacred union of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, of the king and the queen, of the divine mother, the divine father, and how they come together in sacred union to create a third, a divine child, into the world. And so many people feel this desire of something deeper in relationship. Maybe not everyone. I don't know if that's the case. The women that come to me, they feel this desire probably because I also have always had this deep knowing that there was something more spiritual, more holy, more sacred in relationship than what I was seeing and what seemed to be being offered. So this is that desire for sacred union. Sacred union is that holiness, that sacredness of the couple. And sometimes that code has to be activated within us in order to fully step into having a sacred relationship, a sacred union. And a sacred union, let me say, is not just within a relationship, it's also within ourselves. And so we have to fully step into sacred union within ourselves, really bring that into balance, the divine feminine, divine masculine within self, before we can truly live a sacred union with someone else. We can have great relationships. We can have, we can have that. But sacred union is something so much deeper. So, looking at the codes of sacred union and looking at yourself, do you have these codes activated within you? Are you activated and completely whole with your own divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self? And if not, how do we activate that code within you? How do you come to that completeness within self? So let's see. Another one would be the Queen Code. And I don't know where all of my codes are in here. I have lots of writing. The Queen code would be, I just did a video on this. So really aligning to our sovereignty, our autonomy, and that this would also consist of sacred union within self, but aligning with our mission, our purpose, standing in our power as a woman. We're no longer a princess. We're no longer looking outside of ourselves, sourcing outside of ourselves for love and fulfillment and someone to save us. We realize that we have everything that we need within self. And so the Queen code is another code that can be activated. And I'm going through codes with you right now that I have, if I was either born with or had to activate within myself. The Dragon code, I am not seeing my codes, but the Dragon code, the Dragon codes and the Dragon current works with, it works a lot with our fire, our sexual energy, and our life force power. And so many times, this is distorted in our collective. And so we have to really bring that back into balance within self and really work to activate that code, the Dragon code within self, so that we can use our current for true creation, for creation within our projects for a child. And that leads into the codes of fertility, the codes of creation. So you can see that there are a lot of codes, right? There are many, many codes that we can and need to activate within ourselves, within our bodies, within our wombs right now. The codes of fertility are creation, whether or not we decide that we want to be a mother in this lifetime or not, it doesn't really matter. Activating those codes of fertility also activates abundance in life. We activate that divine, feminine, sacred vessel in our body to create life in whatever form that is. And we have choices. We can activate these codes or not. But I can say that these codes are really being asked to be activated right now at this time. I'm not the only one who's talking about this. I thought I was. I thought that when I channeled this message and I was, created all of my creations, that this was my work. I'm not the only one hearing it. I'm not the only one speaking about this, which tells me that this is the time on earth that these codes desperately need to be remembered and reactivated now. And so there's really no time to wait. If we are feeling the call, if we are any of this resonates with you, if anything that I share on social media, any of my newsletters, if any of this resonates with you, then you are hearing the call to do this work, whether that is with me or someone else. But this work is really important. All right, I am not finding that. So let's see what else I have. And we will come back to that. Yes. So the feminine codes are ancient wisdom, and we can connect this with when we were seated in the very beginning of time. These codes were set in place for us to live. And now is the time to remember. The sacred remembering also speaks about a women's amnesia that we have had for millennia, thousands of years now. We have been disconnected from our feminine essence. We've been disconnected from the divine mother aspect of God, creator. And I want to go back to that. So I apologize, but I am going to go back to that. I was talking about how the divine mother and the divine father were an aspect of creator. And then I got sidetracked, and this is what I do. So the divine mother, divine father was an aspect of the creator at one point, and this was forgotten. The divine mother aspect of the creator was buried, dismissed, burned, you name it. At one point in the Aramaic language, God was, and I may butcher the pronunciation of this, was Allah. And this word was a combination, was a joining of the divine father and the divine mother aspect of God. It wasn't separated, it was whole and complete. And that's where I cycled off my talk earlier. It was whole and complete within self. And so Allah is a way that we can express in Aramaic the sacred word of God. And I really resonated with that because I feel like this understanding and this teaching can bring back the divine aspect of the feminine. Whew. Do I want to go there? I might go deeper into that in a later video about the teachings, the early teachings of Christianity and the feminine aspect. Not today. So, all right. So disconnection from our bodies, intuition, and cycles. Modern women's amnesia. We have, as I said, we have been the feminine has been burned at the stake. She has been called a witch. She has been buried. And so this feminine is being asked to be brought back online. And what it has done by dismissing the feminine, it has disconnected us from our body as a woman. It's disconnected us from our cycles, from our intuition, from our magic as women. And we need to bring this back into our practice as a woman. And by bringing back this practice, we will reactivate and remember these sacred mystery teachings. These are feminine mysteries. It's a part of it. Sacred rites of the womb, of the blood mysteries, which were the initiations into womanhood. In blood mysteries means like our cycles and initiations through our menstruation, all the way to through menopause and into our crone years. And so remembering the initiations, remembering our body as sacred, remembering these rites that were practiced, our connection to the earth, to nature, our intuition, our womb. Our womb is one of our greatest gifts as a woman. It is the seat of our power. And so by disconnecting us from our womb, from our body, we were disconnected from our power, from our voice as women. And so these codes, the feminine codes, are about reactivating the voice, the womb, your intuition, your power, your heart, your feminine leadership, and whatever aspect that shows up for you in your life. Connecting you back with your cycles, sacred cycles. And it's not just your cycles of menstruation, it's the cycles of nature, the cycles of energy. And if you no longer have a menstruation, it's the cycles of the moon. We were disconnected from the true essence of the lunar and of the solar forces. We need to reconnect with both of those in our body to access all that we were here to do, to reignite, to remember, it's probably the better word, our sacred blueprint, why we're here on this earth at this time. Because we're not here by chance. We have chosen, we are here for a reason. So we need to remember while we're here. We need to stand in our truth and live out our divine blueprint, whatever that is. The feminine was suppressed across centuries, externally and internally. And still, today, we see that in some places. We see the feminine still being suppressed. So, how do we claim back our own voice, our own power, our own sovereignty, autonomy, when we have the power to do so? So that we can be the voice, we can be the power, we can be the voice for those who cannot, for the women who cannot speak up. It's not our fault. It is not our fault that we have forgotten the sacred codes. It's not our fault that we have not been taught the feminine mysteries. We have not been taught this wisdom of intuition, of cycles, of menstruation, of initiation. It's not our fault that we were disconnected. But we do have the opportunity to remember, to take back our power as women, to really stand in our sovereignty. And when I say take back our power, I mean really access our power and come from a place of truth, of standing and leading from our heart, being connected to the earth, being connected to source, to creator, and being this magnetic, radiant feminine on earth that shifts the world around us, that has an impact, a positive impact of love, of truth in our worlds. And so we have that invitation to remember that. We can step into that at any time. We just have to say yes. We just have to choose to do so. And there's a lot of suppression still happening. And there's a lot of suppression still happening in the way that we are being shown womanhood is supposed to be. We're supposed to look a certain way. We're supposed to be a certain way. We're supposed to act a certain way, dress a certain way. We have a lot of women and young women struggling with body dysmorphia, struggling with not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, seeing all of the social media, and I am going to go there, watching social media, they're watching the movies, Hollywood, and they're seeing a lot of plastic surgery. And so what happens is that I have a lot of women that feel like, because that's beautiful, they're not good enough. They're not beautiful enough. And the body dysmorphia in our society is really, really big and really sad. We have women, children, young girls not feeling like they're good enough and dealing with eating disorders. So how do we shift that? How do we shift back to understanding that our bodies are sacred, that this is a temple? Your body is a temple. You were born to be who you are, to have this sacred body. Now, how we treat our bodies is also a part of that, treating our bodies as sacred. And that is another part of the teachings that have been dismissed. So, how do we treat our bodies as a temple? If this body is what's going to carry us through life, we're here to live a divine purpose, a divine mission, then how do we keep this body as strong, as agile, as connected to our fire and these dragon codes as possible? How would we walk into a temple? How would we treat a sacred space and then treat our body as such? And I think that this is important for us to teach the younger generation after we learn it ourselves. Um, so, why many women feel a mysterious longing to, for something more? And I have a lot of women that come to me and they feel this ache, this feeling like something is missing. And they can't put their finger on it. They can't place what that is. And so this feeling is actually a deep remembrance of what is possible. It's a seed of remembrance that is deep within our bodies, within our soul, within our spirit. I see it as a seed that just, it's planted within our wombs. And once it's activated, it grows. It grows into like fulfilling us from the inside out. Anyway, um, this remembrance is what we've been missing. This remembrance that we are a part of God, that God, the divine, the creator, whatever word you want to use, lives within us and is within every living thing on earth. That the feminine and the masculine are also a part of the creator, that we are one with the creator. And so this sacred union that I was talking about, this code of sacred union, is a part of this mysterious longing for something more that women are feeling, this ache for something more. Once you actually come into this place of remembering who you are, of activating these codes, you no longer have that ache. That place inside of you is filled on a cellular soul level. Like you are completely filled up. I am excited every day to get up and do this work. I'm excited every day to show up and live my purpose, to go outside and connect with nature, to connect with the creator. And I wasn't always like that. I used to feel this calling for something more, for something deeper, that I was missing something. And I searched the world for it. But it wasn't until, and I love to travel, so that was also why I was traveling the world on adventures. But I was also wondering what this was and looking for that. And it wasn't filled until I actually went within and started doing all these activations and remembrance of these codes, that I completely filled up with life, with joy, with passion, with purpose. Our bodies carry the code. Our bodies carry these ancient memories in our DNA. And some of us could feel these codes as some of the ones that I'm seeing lately: the priestess code. Midwives carry this, healers. These are all codes that are activated. So it's not just about learning something new, it's about remembering what you already are. And as I said, it's a cellular and soul memory that is awakening within you. It's on a very, very deep level. And humanity is asking for it right now. We need a change, and humanity, we need a change, and on earth at this time, a very big change. And it isn't going to happen unless we do it, unless we remember and activate these ancient teachings into our new modern world. And that's really the remembrance. These are not new. It's remembering who we are as women, and men have their own codes. They will also have codes of the king and the warrior, and there will be many, the sacred union, divine father. So they also have codes that they are being asked to remember and to really heal at this time and step into a new way of being. So whenever both the men and the women can come together in that, we are really going to see a shift. But women, we are energetic leaders. We really are. The men lead, but we are energetic. We start. We have these teachings within our body, within our wombs. And so when we remember, we begin to shift everything around us. We shift our relationships, people within our vicinity, when we are activated, when we are really in when we're really in our bodies and we are in our magnetism and our radiance, everyone around us will begin to shift. We plant the seeds for other people around us, and we are the teachers of the children. As mothers, we are the ones who raise the next generation. So what are we raising? The call to awaken. So what I have here is the body as a gateway. The body is the gateway to this remembrance. The womb, your womb, is an oracle. It's your connection to your higher truth. It's connection to your intuition. Learning to trust that, activating, reactivating that. I'm reactivating a lot today, so I apologize. It just seems to be a word that my vocabulary today. So whenever we lost our connection to our womb, to our intuition, our discernment, how do we remember? How do we reconnect with that? It is by listening to our bodies again. When your body is telling you no, listen. That is a sacred no. When it's giving you a yes, trust it. When it's telling you something isn't right for you, trust that. Listen to your body, and the more that you trust it, the more that you go along with what is going, like what your signals are inside your body, the more that your intuition is going to get stronger and stronger until you live from that connection, from that inner, from your inner gnosis. And this is when your womb begins to become an oracle. And to do that, we do clearing work as well. We need to clear the memories from our ancestors. We need to clear the memories from our past lovers, our own wounds. We need to reactivate the dragon code and heal the dragon current. And by doing deep womb work, and some of it could be fun and juicy, but by doing deep womb work, we begin to activate our inner oracle, and we begin to channel. We begin to trust and live a life more aligned to our truth just through our connection with our bodies. Activating the voice. The voice is another one. The voice as a sacred instrument. Your voice is power. And I said this in my last video, I believe. Your voice is power. Everything that you say can be used as a spell. Your voice creates. Your words create. And so using your voice as a sacred tool, as a sacred instrument, not only for you, but for everyone around you. And so being very conscious of your voice. And by doing so, you can begin to activate others. They will remember their own. Each woman is a living temple. Yes. So I'm just reading my notes. Every one of us is a temple. We have this divine, this vessel that we hold sacred wisdom in our bodies. We can create life, we can destroy, we can create universes within our body. And so keeping our bodies and our temple as sacred and remembering who we are and really standing in our truth is going to allow us to really create a world that we want to see. And so now I really want to share with you my channeled message. So here it goes. As women, we carry a divine blueprint encoded in our bodies, one that holds the power to create and birth worlds. We are vessels of the sacred, temples of life itself. We have been gifted a unique capacity to feel, to connect, to embody the essence of Shakti, the creative life force that moves through all of nature. When we allow ourselves to simply be, when we open our hearts to love, when we reconnect to the sacred intelligence of our wombs, we awaken the feminine codes that have lived within us since the beginning of time. These codes are unique for each woman. Though we carry all feminine archetypes within us, each of us is here to embody particular frequencies for this time on earth. For some, it's the lover. For others, the mother, the mystic, the warrior, or the queen. At different seasons of our lives, different codes will rise to lead us. Regardless of the archetype we lead with, we are all designed to be living embodiments of the sacred feminine. But for many of us, that power was silenced. We were taught to shut down, to numb, to protect ourselves behind masks and armor. These defenses once kept us safe, but they also disconnected us from the truth of who we are. They disconnected us from our bodies, from our deep feeling, from the divine. This amnesia, this forgetting, is a collective wound, not just for women, but for men too. The system that suppressed the feminine has wounded everyone. But now, something ancient is wanting to come back online. Something ancient is stirring beneath the surface. The feminine is wanting to remember, wanting to rise, not as a concept, but as a living presence. Reawakening these codes is not always easy. It asks us to feel what we've long avoided. It asks us to heal not only our own pain, but the pain of our mothers and our grandmothers. It asks us to reclaim our bodies as sacred, to trust our wombs as oracles, and to remember that we are direct conduits to the divine. This is the way forward, a return and a rebirth. These codes are not new, they are eternal. They were imprinted in our DNA at the moment of conception, and they are calling you home now. The healing of our world will not come from more division, but from reconciliation, from remembering that men too carry a divine blueprint, that we are not enemies, but mirrors, that the true tragedy is the war that we've raged and waged against each other. Let us return to the truth. Let us reclaim the power we carry as women. Let us walk as temples of love, of wisdom, of life itself. The time is now. The feminine codes are asking to be remembered, to be awakened through you, through us. And so it is. Okay. So I would love to hear how that felt in your body and what came up for you. My nose is itching. So when I speak about the disconnect from between men and women, the division, this is a really important code for me, for us as humanity. And we're coming to a time when we're seeing men and women more disconnected than ever. I believe, I'm not positive, that there are even babies be trying anyway to be created within pods instead of being created between a man. When I say pod, I mean not even within a mother's womb. And this connection is real. This We need to come back into harmony within relationship, within men and women. And this is going to take some work. There seems to be a lot of the opposite sex scared of each other, angry at each other, and not wanting to or desiring to even be in connection anymore. And then there are those that are desiring it, but for whatever reason, it's a struggle. There's a lot of pain in our world, a lot of hurt in people. And so hurt people, and they create more trauma and disconnect. So by doing the work, by working to heal ourselves and reactivating these deep remembrances, we can come back into alignment. And I truly believe that. And I feel that this disconnection, intentional disconnection that happened, was one of the greatest tragedies of humanity. So how do we come back and heal that? Okay, let me go on. I think that I covered that. So we're living through a very big time on our planet. A pivotal shift is happening on many levels. And in a sense, we are in the middle of a spiritual warfare and a spiritual renaissance. We see old systems collapsing, and we are seeing others desire to rise and to take hold on our planet right now. And one of those is the feminine. And as I said at the beginning, this is not just me feeling this. There's a lot of us who are teaching this stream of wisdom, of the feminine mysteries. And so this is one of the invitations for humanity to step into more of a balanced whole between the masculine and the feminine. And not just one way, it's not the other. It's not the feminism, old feminism that we know of, that's also separation. That is not it. We need to bring back balance between the masculine and the feminine. And that is going to take some work. And we're going to watch these old systems collapse. We're seeing it now. So how do we hold that peace within ourselves? How do we hold that space for humanity to step into a new timeline? and that is by doing the work. The age of dominance is ending, and I can use the word patriarchal, but I will explain what I mean by patriarch. Patriarch is not men, it is a belief, an institution, a system that has hurt, wounded, suppressed both men and women. It has wounded men just as much as it has wounded women. And so we are not talking about men. Men are not bad. They are not wrong. They are not the enemy. They are not the devil. They are also wounded by this system. And we are seeing the age of dominance collapsing. And that's everyone within it. We have women that are also holding that energy of patriarchy as much as we are men. And so we can't deny that fact. And now is the time of deep remembrance and coming from a place of sacred leadership instead of dominance. And so I will invite you in just a minute into something about that, into sacred leadership. But we are seeing all over talks of sacred leadership coming from the heart, stepping up into a place of leading from devotion, from the heart, from the seat of our power, from our womb, and really coming from a place of integrity and leading from that space instead of dominance. What is it called? The heterarchy instead of the hierarchy? I may have that word wrong. But to do so, wow, why is my nose itching? To do so, we have to stop performing femininity, and we have to really embody true femininity, the true feminine. And when I say femininity, it doesn't just mean soft. There are many aspects of the feminine. We are strong. We can be warriors. We can really be in our sovereign and autonomous. We don't have to just be soft. We don't have to be on stage and speaking, but we can be. That can also be feminine. So really the importance is being embodied as a woman, not showing up how others are expecting you, how the world's expecting you to show up, but really being in your truth and in your integrity and connected to your body, feeling life from your body and coming from that place. And that is the embodied feminine. That's where we're going. That's what you have the invitation to step into. And that is a woman who is self-sourced, who's connected to her sensuality, to her intuition, to her creativity, to her dragon current in her body, the healed dragon current, the healthy dragon current, and who is unapologetically whole. And so when women really step into this place, humanity will begin to shift. And so the feminine codes offer a path to remembrance. This whole thing that I created or didn't create, channeled, offers a path of remembrance. It is a truly coming home to this embodied feminine, this embodied place so that you can be a great shift in the world, that you can be a great leader in the world in whatever sense that is for you. And maybe it's just in your house, maybe it's in your family, maybe it's something larger on a larger scale that you want to show up and speak on stage. Doesn't really matter. It's you stepping into that place and remembering what your own unique divine blueprint is, and then what that path looks like. It's reweaving your soul and yourself. It's a coming home to your body. And it's a map. It's a map to your remembrance. It's a map to, oh my gosh. It is a map to this blueprint within you. So if you feel the call to go deeper, I have something I'd like to share. There are a few beautiful ways that you can continue this journey with me and deepen into your feminine codes. And first of all, I'm going to apologize for probably being a little repetitive and a little bit all over the place. But if you've made it this far, thank you. I will get better at this as I go. And I promise you that. So, one of the ways that you can continue this journey with me is through the Feminine Codes app. And this app is the only one of its kind. It is a daily temple. It's your daily temple that you can come home to at any time from anywhere. And that's why I've created it. You'll find sacred feminine yoga flows. You'll find embodiment practices, rituals, voice and womb activations. You're going to find feminine wisdom teachings and transmissions, shadow work and parts work, meditations from helping you sleep all the way to activating abundance and changing your mindset. You'll have live workshops with me and a community of like-minded women who are on the same journey as you. It's a space that you can really come back to yourself again and again. And that's whether you have 3 minutes or 30 minutes, you can dive into any practice at any time. And so I'm going to put in the comments, I'm going to put the link to the app. And that is at the moment $29.99 a month or $300 for the year. And it has hours and hours and hours worth of material, plus me doing live workshops and the sacred circle. So you get support from other women. But for that membership, you get access to everything. And so if you register and you did not see the membership sign up, then please message me and I will help you sign up, because I have some women that have missed that. They're in the default and they're not seeing the material, and I do not want that to happen to you, because there's a lot of incredible material in there that I have been teaching for the last 10 years. It's in there. Another way that you can work with me is through the Feminine Codes initiation. And that's the deeper path. That is starting in September. Right now, there is an early bird discount that is up there. And so if you want to take advantage of that, please do. This is for the women who are really ready to walk through that portal. And the initiation is my signature journey. It's not a program. They're temples of feminine mystery and connected to the Venusian codes. And so that's why we're meeting today, Friday, day of Venus, the Venusian codes. Friday the 13th is a very sacred day, connected to the goddess. So the feminine initiation, the feminine codes into the initiation, the feminine mysteries, that is body, womb, voice, power, you activating your sacred, unique blueprint. And together we begin to unravel the old conditioning and begin to awaken the truth within you that's been buried deep inside your body, deep inside the generations of your maternal line, really activating your unique blueprint. And you'll be held in a temple space and guided through powerful rituals and embodiment practices. And you're going to be supported as you remember who you came here to be. And so all three, I'm going to give you one more way that you can work with me. And there's more on my website, but these are the three that I really want to share with you. All of them are going to be linked below. And then the third one is the one-on-one feminine code mentorship. And that's personalized, potent transformation. And this is for the woman who knows she's really ready and looking for that intimate, tailored guidance. And so this program is a private space for deep reactivation and reclamation of who you are. This is for you. If you are ready to stop living half lit, if you're ready to embody your feminine power unapologetically, stepping into your life, like fully into your relationships, into your leadership and presence, we go deep. So it really just depends within these three what you feel called to. The initiation is itself a deep dive into the feminine mysteries. The one-on-one feminine codes program is to take you is just that. It's dedicated to working through childhood wounding all the way up to full embodiment. So that is a very, very different type of program, all sacred. So however you feel called, whether it's through the app, the temple of the initiation, through the private mentorship, follow your inner guidance. Because this path isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about really coming home to the woman that you were meant to be. And I'm here when you're ready. Just know that you don't have to do this alone. Like, you have full support. And so as we close, I'm going to offer you a journaling prompt for you to take with you and really feel into after this call. And that is, what does my deeper feminine self want me to remember today? What does my deeper feminine self want me to remember right now? And so we're just going to close with a blessing. So I'm going to grab my candle. If you want to, you can close your eyes and just settle into your body. May you remember the truth of who you are, not what the world told you to be, but what your soul has always known. May your body become your sanctuary, a temple of your breath, of beauty, a belonging. May you soften into your body's wisdom. May you trust the intuitive guidance, those deep inner whispers that she speaks to you. May your womb awaken as your compass. May it point you in the direction of your true north. May your womb be a living oracle of creation, of intuition, of truth. And may she guide you home to your deepest knowing. May your voice rise like a sacred song. Clear, honest, and unapologetically yours. May your words ripple with power, not because they're loud, but because they speak truth. May your beauty be felt from the inside out, not performed, not polished, but radiant from the depth of your being. And may your truth become your way of living, a devotion, a remembering, a reclamation of every part of you that once was forgotten. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are remembering. You are returning. With every breath, every choice, every sacred yes, you become the woman that you were born to be. And so it is. So thank you for joining me. And as we go through these series, I will be sharing more and more with you on the sacred feminine codes. And I'm going to end this because right now it is 1:11:11.